choices, I'll make the sworn statement.
So if you decide for the sworn statement, this is your right. We cannot impose on you to take advantage of the right to make an unsworn statement. Please just go. And of course you have been throughout the proceedings, all days of the proceedings up until now, and you know what are the rules. Just to remind you about the jurisdiction of the court regarding false testimony. So, court officer, would you help Mr. Kenyatta?
Yes, Madam President. Please repeat after me. I solemnly declare.
I solemnly declare.
That I will speak the truth.
That I will speak the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kenyatta. Of course, I'm not going to ask you to identify yourself. It has been done during the first day. And our suggestion is, of course, it will be your team, Counsel K, that you start. And thereafter, the prosecutor. And you will have the last, you will have the floor last if you would like to ask some questions, but obviously this is going to happen tomorrow. If you would like, you might proceed with some questions, or we just postpone it for tomorrow, because the time is very limited.
It may be better to do it tomorrow.
It is much better. So on behalf of the Chamber, there is nothing more to add to what I have already said. If the parties, the prosecutor, the legal representative for victims, I'm looking just at Mr. Anya, not because he's a party, but just because he's to my left. If someone of the defense teams would like to raise some issue, we have some minutes, which does not mean that we have to stay in the courtroom if it is not necessary. So then we proceed tomorrow at 2:30 with you, Mr. Kenyatta, to be questioned in the order that you know very well, and I have mentioned it shortly now. I would like to thank everyone. Today was quite a peaceful day. Yesterday we proceeded with the swearing in, so now we directly continue with the questioning. First it will be Mr. K, thereafter the prosecutor's team, finally Mr. K.
Thank you, Your Honour. Good afternoon, Mr. Kenyatta.
Good afternoon.
The first questions that I ask you today are going to concern the early stages of your political career. And it has been a fact in this courtroom that your first election campaign that you fought to become a Member of Parliament was 1997. Is that right?
That is correct, Your Honours.
The party that you joined and on whose behalf you fought that election was the KANU party. Is that right?
That is correct, Your Honours.
I'd like you now, if you would, if you could tell the court about the ethnic structure or political alliances that made up the KANU party. Was it a party that represented one ethnic group? How would you describe it?
I would describe KANU as a national party, a party that included most of the communities, especially the smaller communities in Kenya. But the major, let's say, ethnic groups in the country during the 1997 election were not really in KANU. They belonged to other parties. So I would call KANU a national party. But at the time of the 97 election, it was composed mainly of members of the smaller or minority communities in Kenya.
At that stage in 1997, who was the leader of the KANU party?
Your Honor, the leader of KANU at the time was the former President Daniel Arap Moi.
I've referred you to the 1997 election. Did you win a parliamentary seat at that election?
No, Your Honors, I did not win my parliamentary seat at that particular election.
After 1997, did you remain in the KANU party?
Yes, I did, since I was at the time the party chairman for Thika district. So I remained a member of the party, though I had not won my parliamentary seat.
Now, before we get to the next election at 2002, and keeping the chronology, I'd like you to watch a very short video, EVD PT D13 00530. If we go back, I don't think the screen was on for the... Thank you. If that could be now played.
Members of the Mungiki sect are petitioning the government to stop what they call illegal harassment of its members. In a statement issued shortly after they marched through city streets, they complained that their members have been arrested and tortured by police. Outside the Jomo Kenyatta Mausoleum, the group burnt an effigy of Uhuru Kenyatta, claiming that Uhuru had betrayed the ideals his father stood for. But in a quick rejoinder, the Nairobi KANU youth accused the sect of fronting for an unnamed politician in Central Province.
Thank you. Did you recollect that particular event we saw there, which was the 8th of August 2000?
Yes, I do.
Did you witness it yourself?
Your Honors, I didn't witness it myself since I wasn't present, but I did see the TV, because it was on news on TV, so I saw it on TV. Perhaps
you could explain to us what that particular issue was about, what was going on that day, and why were these people known as the Mungiki burning an effigy of you?
Well, Your Honors, at the time there was a crackdown again on this particular sect, and they blamed that crackdown on the government. And me being a member of the ruling party at the time, they associated myself with the problems that they were experiencing, and I was the target, therefore, of their anger against the government at the time.
Thank you. I'd like to now move to the 2002 election. Is it correct that you stood as the presidential candidate for KANU against Mwai Kibaki?
Yes, Your Honors, that is correct.
Just taking the politics then at that 2002 election, can you inform the court the policies that KANU fought that election upon?
Your Your Honors, the key platform of our election at the time was one united Kenya, which was basically the founding principles of the Kenya African National Union, of which now I was their presidential candidate, and also the drive and an initiative now towards dealing with a major problem at the time, which was youth unemployment in the country. So our campaign was based on a youth platform and the need to unify the country going forward.
As the presidential candidate, were you also the leader of KANU?
No, at that time, Your Honors, the party chairman remained as the president, who was then Daniel Arap Moi, but I was one of the 4 vice chairmen of the party.
We've heard in court over the last few days that President Mwai Kibaki is a Kikuyu, and you are also a Kikuyu. Perhaps you could describe to the court particular issues arising for you at that stage, being a Kikuyu standing against President Kibaki as he now is.
Well, Your Honors, at the time there was a strong feeling that maybe I was out to divide the Kikuyu vote, and there was also a build-up at the same time, a mood for change, given the fact that also President Moi had been in power at that stage for 24 years, and a mood was developing that there was a need in certain quarters, that was the argument, to replace KANU. And many felt at the time that Moi was using me to continue his rule. And largely, especially within my own community of the Kikuyu, it was felt that I was really, as they called it at the time, a project of the former president, and there was a mood that I should not be elected because that would be a continuation of the rule of Moi. That was the perception, and that was the attitude that was being pushed from certain quarters.
Perhaps you can describe then what your politics stood for at that time in 2002. What you were campaigning upon and what you personally believed in.
Your Honors, my politics at the time, and still is today, is that we need a united Kenya. We need a country where all communities in Kenya could feel that